Throughout human history, there have been many cases of people being trampled or crushed to death when a large group of humans attempt to force themselves through a tight chokepoint. The most recent of such incidents would probably be the one that occurred in Seoul in late 2022, which took the lives of 158 people. When news of this incident reached Japan, many Japanese people would recall a similar incident that took place a couple decades ago, in which a large number of people attempted to squeeze themselves across a pedestrian bridge after a firework festival, resulting in 11 people, mostly children, being crushed to death, with hundreds more injured. This is the story of the Akashi Bridge incident. In July of 2001, Akashi City was holding its annual summer festival. Summer festivals are common in Japan, and locals would gather to enjoy various food stands and participate in traditional dances. Many of these summer festivals would have a fireworks show as the highlight event, and this was also the case with Akashi City. Their firework festival was popular on a national level, with people from neighboring regions gathering to watch the event, some of them arriving many hours in advance to secure a good spot. Every year, anywhere between 150,000 to 200,000 people would gather for this specific fireworks show. On this year, 2001, the location of the firework festival had been changed to Okura Beach, a new beach the city had created a few years prior. This new location was selected, perhaps in an attempt by the city to promote their new resort. On the evening of June 21st, the fireworks show would be conducted as planned, mesmerizing the sea of spectators. After the fireworks ended, a large portion of the spectators, in the order of tens of thousands, would attempt to make their way towards the nearby Asagiri station. There was a large road dividing Asagiri station from the area the fireworks show was held at, and to cross this road, people would have to either make their way across a pedestrian bridge, or walk 10 minutes or so to get to another crossing. Most people instinctively opted for the shorter option of going across the bridge, but this bridge and the station itself was not capable of handling so many people at one time. Trains would come every 5 minutes or so, but one train can carry only so many people. As time went by, more and more people would gather to create an endless line of humans waiting to get in. This line would eventually grow long enough to reach the side of the bridge opposite to the station. People at the other end of the line did not understand why it was taking so long for people to get moving, so would get frustrated and begin leaning on whoever was in front of them. Men could be heard shouting, "Hurry up," while others would shout back, "Stop pushing." Because this was a bridge, people who were unfortunately in the middle did not have the option of bailing out, and the mass of people would get more and more compressed as time went on. It didn't help that this bridge had plastic walls on both sides. The purpose of these walls was to protect pedestrians from the wind, but in this particular circumstance it had somewhat of a greenhouse effect, trapping the heat and humidity from the mass of people. This additional heat would enhance the discomfort and suffering of people trapped on the bridge, making them push even harder on the people in front of them, in a desperate effort to escape. The density of people on this bridge would eventually reach 15 people per square meter. In other words, imagine you were standing in a box, with each side being 1 meter or roughly 3 feet 3 inches long, with the walls being tall as your average human. Now, imagine 14 other people are crammed into this box with you. That is what it would feel like to be on that bridge on that day. It was only a matter of time until people, especially children and small women, to begin losing consciousness. This man, Shimomura, was on the bridge that day with his 2-year-old son. As the pressure and heat from the mass of people became unbearable, he had his son stand in between the handrail and the wall, hoping that the rail would take the weight off his young child. He recalls it wasn't just the physical pressure from the crowd, but also the extreme heat from so many humans being trapped in such a small space, especially with the walls preventing any circulation of air. As Shimomura was struggling to keep himself upright, he heard a dull snapping sound, accompanied by extreme pain. At the time of the incident, he was a healthy middle-aged man, but the pressure from the crowd had caused his ribcage to collapse. It was at this moment Shimomura notices the crowd of people beginning to collapse in a wave, and human bodies would stack on top of each other as if it were a liquid. He recalls the wall of humans being highest towards the station, where bodies were stacked up taller than himself. This human wave would tear him away from his son. By the time he saw his son again after the rescue efforts began, the young boy had already gone cold. The weight of the crowd collapsing was so strong, the metal handrail the boy was hiding behind had been deformed. With nothing to protect him, the boy was crushed by the wall of human bodies. In total, 11 people passed away in this incident, 9 of them young children, and the other 2 were elderly women. One of these elderly women was Sakai Ritsuko, aged 71. While Sakai was trapped on the bridge, amongst the chaos she notices a baby stroller without a parent. The parent had been separated from the stroller in the crowd, leaving the 2-month-old child alone. Sakai dug through the crowd to pick up the infant, and handed it to a more able-bodied man who was able to lift the infant above the crowd. The infant would survive, but Sakai did not. She is considered one of the heroes of this incident.
人混みの中に赤ちゃん連れて行くなんてってやっぱり周りからも怒られたので、やっぱり連れて行ってなかったら律子さんもね亡くなることなかったかもしれないし、喜んでもらえて、会いたかったって言って。抱っこさせてって言われてありがとうございましたしか言えませんでした。
Investigations would determine the main cause of this incident to be the sheer lack of personnel assigned to control the crowd. The plans created by Akashi City, the police, and the private contractor hired by the city were literally a copy of another firework festival that was held half a year earlier, that had less than 1/3 of the participants of this summer festival. As a matter of fact, this smaller firework festival had caused a similar buildup of people on the very same bridge, which resulted in some people getting injured or feeling ill. So the city approving the same plan for a much larger festival seems questionable at best. Communication among the police and security staff on the day of the incident was very poor as well. Staff were still guiding people to cross the bridge and get to the station, even after the situation on the bridge was becoming dire. People on the bridge would repeatedly scream and bang on the plastic walls of the bridge, trying to get the attention of the officers below, but no one seemed to notice. The family of the deceased would sue the city and eventually win 586 million yen, roughly equivalent to $5 or $6 million US. The mayor of Akashi City would resign, and the Akashi Festival was never held with a fireworks show since. The bridge itself still exists, and if you go visit it today, there's a small memorial there for people who passed away in this horrifying incident. If you found yourself stuck on the bridge that day, what would you have done to increase your chances of survival? Let me know in the comments below. A big thank you to Korbachu and my other Patreons for supporting this channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for watching until the end. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. I'll see you next time.